anymore. I won't have time to tell them how to simplify their life.
So I'm looking at the latest Obama polling data. Folks, there's a crack in the dike. And I don't think that there's anything fixed. A hole in the dike, crack in the dike or something. It is bad. And I don't think that there's anything they can do about it. Like they brought in John Podesta. They brought him in from his think tank that George Soros buys. Clinton's former chief of staff. And all Podesta is a hack. Podesta is a tactician. And he comes up with strategies and tactics to hopefully destroy conservatives and Republicans. That's not going to save Obama. The conservatives and Republicans don't have anything to do with this. What's happened to Obama, and this polling data indicates it, but it's all related to Obamacare. The bloom is off the rose. He has now lost the trust. And you can blame the Republicans from now till the end of his second term, and that's not going to change. He has lost trust with the American people. There are people with cancer. One of them is Jim Hoft. Jim Hoft is a gateway pundit, and he's out of St. Louis. And he's got a post, please pray for me. I'm losing my insurance. In August 2013, I became very sick. I thought it was a cold. After a few days, I lost vision in my left eye. I checked into the hospital. I soon found out that what I thought was a summer cold was actually strep bacteria poisoning my bloodstream. The bacteria blinded my left eye, ate a hole through my heart, caused 5 strokes on both sides of my brain, and forced the removal of my prosthetic left knee. Dr. Lee was the surgeon assigned to perform open-heart surgery. What was originally scheduled to last 4 hours ended up lasting 12 hours. My heart was severely damaged. Dr. Lee later told me the surgery was one of the most difficult of his career. He also said that I only had a few days to live without the surgery. Thanks to the excellent insurance I carried, I was able to receive life-saving medical treatment at St. Louis University. This week, I found out I'm going to lose my insurance. The company that carried me is leaving the Missouri market. I'll have to find something else. And I'm just one of the millions who will now be looking for new insurance. God willing, I'll be able to keep my doctors at St. Louis University. I trust them. They saved my life. Please pray for me and the millions of working Americans who are going through the same ordeal. Why is our government doing this to us? That's it. Why is our government doing this to us? I have, in the healthcare stack, another story. Cancer patient. I am devastated over Obamacare. It's by Joan Carrico, registered nurse. I had a lot of trouble early on. I didn't expect my insurance to be canceled. I had numerous problems getting onto healthcare.gov. I gave up on the website. Since then, I've received assistance from an agent and a Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan representative. I've been stressed and scrambling to find an affordable policy that will ensure that I keep my doctor's chemotherapy drugs that are literally keeping me alive. Over 6 years ago, I was in a position where I needed to choose an individual health insurance policy, and after a lot of research, I chose a Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO that I anticipated would be short-term. My plan was to get back to work as a registered nurse and be eligible for a group policy. But for the first time in my life, I got really sick. I've been battling cancer, fighting for my life for the last 6 years. So much for my plans. I thank God that I'm alive, and I'm eternally grateful to Blue Cross Blue Shield and all my doctors, especially my doctors at the University of Michigan, who refer to me as their miracle patient. She's losing hers too. What is our government doing to us? Why is our government doing this to us? This is the root of Obama's problem. Now, not everybody has cancer. Not everybody's losing their doctor and their trusted insurance policy and all that. But a lot of people are losing everything. They've already lost their jobs. Many of them don't really have any hope of getting a replacement job at replacement salaries at levels. And now, after being promised for 3 years that they could keep their doctor, keep their insurance, they can't. I'm amazed Obama's at 40 anywhere. I would think after all this, I think the truth is Obama's in the 30s or maybe the high 20s. Still got people afraid to say so. This is outrageous what's happening. And they can bring in all the fixers in the world, and they can't fix this. The Republicans are not responsible for this. The Republicans didn't vote for this. The Republicans don't have one fingerprint on Obamacare. Well, they didn't until the budget deal. Now they've sustained it, the funding for it. But that's beside the point for now. Point is, there are people all over this country who have just simply lost faith with the president. Now it's not a matter of listening to some guy on the radio warn them that you can't trust this guy. Now they know it. It's happened. They don't have to be convinced. They don't have to be persuaded. They don't have to be told. Millions and millions of people no longer believe what Barack Obama says. This is the last straw. They can bring in all the fixers in the world they want. There's nothing John Podesta can do to fix this. Because this is not, Obama hasn't lost his standing because of tricks played by the Republicans. He hasn't lost his standing because the media is not fair to him. He hasn't lost his standing or his approval number because the media spent 4 years attacking him like they did George W. Bush. This is all on him. He owns every point that he has dropped in these approval numbers. And it's devastating wherever you look. And this was Mr. Hope and Change. This was a guy, folks, that what they did was trust him. They believed that life was going to get better. The country was going to get better. There wasn't going to be any more arguing and rancorous partisanship. And the world wasn't going to hate us. And there wasn't going to be any more terrorism. And there wasn't going to be so much income inequality and the sea levels and all that stuff. They believed it. And that's what he's lost. NBC, Wall Street Journal, and they're devastated. F. Chuck Todd, they are reduced at NBC to actually on the air hoping that a recovering economy can bring Obama back. They're all in the tank because they're not journalists, remember. They're Democrats. And they're all hoping, they've done everything they can to protect Obama. They've done everything they can to see that this kind of plummet did not happen. But he himself has engineered the plummet. Now they're hoping that something can happen, the economy, a recovery that maybe can bring him back. The federal health care law is becoming a heavier political burden for Obama and the Democrats, despite increased confidence in the economy and the public's own generally upbeat sense of well-being. So even though the public, according to this, and they claim in this poll that a lot of Americans are upbeat finally, and they're feeling pretty good about the economy, and it doesn't matter. Pretty good about the economy, and it doesn't matter. Because Obama is sinking, and it's due to Obamacare. The days of excusing Obama are over. The realization that we are in the midst of a sorry state of affairs that he has created. Why is our government doing this to us? Why can't I keep my doctor? I liked my plan. I liked my doctor. And more we're reading about people whose lives were saved by their insurance and their doctor, and it's being taken away. 69% of the people liked what they had before. It's being taken away. Why is our government doing this? This is profound. Nobody looked at Obama the way they now see him. There wasn't anybody who voted for him in 2008 who'd ever believe they'd be asking, why is our government doing this to us? These numbers are bad. Disapproval of Obama's job performance hit an all-time high, the NBC Wall Street Journal poll, 54%. 50% in this poll now consider Obamacare a bad idea. It's a record number for this poll. This poll is a lagging poll in disapproval of Obamacare. Most polls since the beginning have opposed Obamacare. This one's been a lagging poll. It's now caught up. The Quinnipiac poll, Obama's support among young voters has disappeared. 49% now say they disapprove of his job performance. Hispanic historic preference for Obama is evaporating. 43% disapprove and climbing. 52% of the voting public now says Obama is not honest and trustworthy. And the same numbers say he lacks strong leadership qualities. The Republicans didn't do this. The media didn't do this. This is not the result of tactics that have worked on Obama. These numbers he owns. He brought these numbers about. Americans who want Republicans to control both houses of Congress now outnumber those who fear one-party control. And this, the generic ballot, the Republicans are cleaning clocks with the generic ballot. It's never been. Charlie Cook, the dean of generic ballot analysts, says he has never seen this kind of shift in this short a period of time. In the generic ballot, who do you prefer, Republican or Democrat? Charlie Cook says he has never seen this dramatic a shift in this time, which is basically a year. Now, the Republicans are looking at, and they don't want to mess it up with a government shutdown. This is, I guarantee you, anything that causes negative press to them in a government shutdown, they're convinced that people love, adore, revere government, want it in their lives every day, and they're not going to do anything that would shut it down and be blamed for it. And the generic ballot's one of the things they're looking at. UK Daily Mail, again, this is the Quinnipiac, more details. Obama's approval rating is at 38% in the Quinnipiac poll, just 34% approval on Obamacare, 40% approval on Iran. It is devastating. And so this is the Republicans are basically saying, you know what, we're not going to do anything. We're just not going to say anything. We're not going to provoke it. We're just going to let this all happen without any of our fingerprints on it. Obama's in the tank. His numbers are plummeting. They want to stay under the radar. You and I, on the other hand, would say this is the time to pounce. But they're not of that mindset, folks. They're in a totally and purely defensive posture. But this piece from Jim Hoft, the Gateway Pundit, why is our government doing this to us? There haven't been too many administrations. There haven't been too many presidents about whom people ask that question. Why is our government doing this to us? It's worse out there than anybody inside Washington knows. And we will be right back. Sit tight.
The most powerful name in talk radio, Rush, on the EIB network.